Welcome back to the garage. Guys, in this video we're going to drag out that old bandsaw that I got off of Justin. If you remember several videos back about the truckload of awesomeness, and I picked up an old Blackhawk bandsaw that was made back in the 70s, and I'm hoping that maybe we can get it cleaned up and get it working, and it'll be a good replacement for that crappy Tammy bandsaw that I just hate. So anyhow, let's drag those two saws out and take a look at them. Alright guys, I got the two saws set up here side by side, alright? Now this saw is sitting higher because it's on a little carriage with some casters under it and all that. But regardless of that, I just wanted to show you a comparison of the two saws and why a 1977 model Blackhawk was made and is a much better saw than this Central Machinery saw from about 1995. Now this saw, the Tammy bandsaw, okay, I got it in about 1995, somewhere in there, 95, 96, new from Central Machinery, okay? And I gotta tell you that this saw has been a problem child from day one, okay? From day one. In fact, when we first put got it going, it was throwing the blade off of it, and my dad, back when he had his machine shop going, he literally took one of the pulleys and put it in, machined it and trued it up so that the blade would stay on it, okay? This thing has been a dud from day one, the Tammy bandsaw. So let's look at the Blackhawk over here and the Central Machinery and look at some of the differences in them, okay? Now, this saw here is dirty. The Blackhawk is dirty just the way it came, from my friend Justin. It was his grandfather's saw, and it sat for a long, long time, and, so it's real nasty and all that, and it needs some work. It needs to be cleaned up, okay? But the idea here is to take a older saw that's a better made saw and maybe rob a few parts off of this, and if we need to get that saw operational and throw this thing in a dang dumpster, okay? Because this is a piece of junk right here. All right, so let's look at some of the differences in the saws. All right, so one of the first things I want you to notice is the width of the base here. Look at the difference in the two saws, the stability of the width of the base on these saws. That saw is much more wider, much more stable. It's even longer in this direction also. Alright, the next thing I want you to see is on the old Tammy saw, the back stop here is held on by two little old dinky metric bolts. I think you have to have a 12mm wrench to loose those up. And now look over here at the Blackhawk. It has one big bolt holding it on, okay? Alright, also the front part here, the front stop where it clamps is much wider on the Blackhawk than, look how dinky and narrow that is on the old Central Machinery. Alright, also, alright, look here now, the spring length right here on the side of the Central Machinery is about an inch shorter than the one on the old Blackhawk. Alright, something else that's really important, and I feel like is probably one of the most important features, is the old Tammy bandsaw, the 1995 Central Machinery right here. This is about a 7-inch pulley that the saw blade runs around, and then over here on the Blackhawk, it's a 1/2 inch larger in diameter. And that's important. I mean, it may not sound like much, but that takes a lot of the stress out of that blade as it has to curve and go around that pulley. It's a much bigger arc that it takes, not quite as sharp as on the Central Machinery. All right, another thing, the Central Machinery, the old Tammy bandsaw has this little old rest here. The Blackhawk has a much bigger rest. Alright guys, here's another difference in the two saws. This little part right here is a 1/2 inch narrower than the Blackhawk, much wider there. Alright guys, here's another big difference in the two saws. Alright, the part that I don't know what it's called, okay, that the little bearings and the saw guides and all that are mounted to. If you'll notice, they're on the back side of the the part that raises up. Now look at the Blackhawk, okay? All right, much larger, held on with a big, palm nut, whatever you want to call it. Much larger design, a lot more heavy duty. Even the part that the bearings mount on. Now here's the old Tammy saw, the 1995 saw. It's real dinky the way it's made. Real dinky. Now look at this. Look how heavy duty this is compared to the other saw. And this is in behind. It's hard to see. There it is. Same thing. Much more well made. Much beefier saw. The difference. Now the pulley here on the old Tammy saw, the old Central Machinery. Now look at the pulley on the right there. And now look at the one here. So that low speed pulley, man, is much larger on the Blackhawk saw, and it will turn a blade at a slower speed if you want to. All right, so I know this may not be important to a lot of people, but I want you to see the difference here. I'm gonna back this up. Okay, I'll back this up to right there. Now watch how many times I have to turn this before it starts moving it. It's about 2 full turns. 1, 2, now it's starting to turn it. All right, now I know that this is not the original handle, and we're gonna make one to go on it, okay? This is something that Mr. Holiday must have slid on there many years ago. All right, so there we go. Put my finger on it. Oh, it's turning it already at 3/4 of a turn. It takes out the slack and it starts turning it. Starts adjusting it in. 3/4 of a turn. This saw here is, at least 20 years older. This one here, 2 full turns to get all the slop out of it. And this one, 3/4 of a turn. So now you can see why I brought home, an old 1977 Blackhawk saw that didn't even run, hopefully to try to get a replacement, a much better saw than the Tammy Bandsaw, okay? And, my sweet wife, bless her heart, man, she saw when I brought this thing and unloaded it, she goes, "Oh my God, you bought another junky saw. You need a new one." And my sweet wife, she says, comes to me and says, "What would it cost for me to buy you a brand new, a good saw, okay? Not another junky one, but a good one." And I said, "Well, I want to at least get a jet." And I said, "They're about $650 right now." She said, "No, really, now what would it cost for me to buy you one?" And I said, "That one right there. The old $50 saw I got from Justin. That was his grandfather's saw. We can fix it up and get it running. It's a much better saw than the Tammy Bandsaw, okay? Much better saw." So that's the plan, guys. In the very next video, we're going to be getting this new saw over here. We're going to disassemble it. We're going to get it cleaned up. We're going to lubricate everything. We're going to make the adjustments that it needs, make the fixes that it needs, and we're going to give it a test run. All right, so that's what you got to look forward to in the very next video on this channel, okay? Well, guys, hey, I hope you enjoy these little videos. It's just my life. I'm letting you just peek into it. The junk that I do out here in my garage. So anyhow, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you come back for the very next video.